Right now, you could have a forest growing in your kitchen and you have no idea about it. All you need is just a glass, water, and 48 hours. You don't need land, you don't need soil, you don't need sun. You need water, a jar, and seeds. That's it. And I'm about to show you 15 sprouts you can grow in 48 hours or less. Each one nutritionally denser than anything in your grocery store. And most importantly, it's food that you can grow continuously, giving you an infinite supply. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the fastest food on Earth doesn't come from farms, it comes from jars. And you'll be growing one by tonight. These are the common crops that grocery stores already sell you, except you're growing them at a stage where they're more nutrient dense, more bioavailable, and cheaper than anything sold at a farmer's market. A seed is a bomb of potential energy. It's designed to do one thing, become a plant as fast as possible. That's its only program. Number 14 in this list, you're going to see something that looks genuinely alien. Watching in real time as the seed creates its own protective ecosystem is one of the most hypnotic things you'll ever watch grow. And number 15 will absolutely blow your mind. One of the most common foods. You eat it every day, but I am sure you had no idea you can grow from home in a jar. If you're new here and you want to learn how to grow real food, real fast, real strangely beautiful, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a comment about what surprised you the most and share your experience. So let's grow. Number 1, Mung bean sprouts, the explosion jar. This is where we establish that this is real. Mung beans. 2 to 4 days from dry seed to completely harvestable edible forest. And nothing, absolutely nothing, shows growth more visually explosive than a mung bean sprout. Mung beans have been cultivated in India for over 4,000 years. They're a staple protein source across South Asia, Southeast Asia, and China. But the sprout form? That's actually a modern discovery. Widespread cultivation only became common in the 20th century, but it's now one of the most recognized sprouts globally. This is where simplicity becomes shocking. Get dried mung beans from any grocery store, the same ones used in Indian cooking. Cost about 50 cents per cup. Rinse a quarter cup of dried mung beans under water. Place them in a mason jar. Cover the jar mouth with cheesecloth or a sprouting lead. Soak for 8 to 12 hours. Drain the water completely. Rinse the beans twice daily. That's it. That's the entire process. By day 2, you'll see small white tails breaking through the bean skin. By day 3, the jar is half filled with thick white roots. By day 4, the sprouts are 2 to 3 inches long, ready to eat. Harvest the entire sprout, the seed hole, the root, the small emerging leaves. The texture is crisp and snappy. The taste is fresh, slightly sweet, with a subtle mineral undertone. 1/4 cup of dried mung beans produces over 2 cups of fresh sprouts. This is your confidence plant, but for sprouting. If you've never grown anything in your life, mung bean sprouts prove it works, that seeds actually do this, that in 48 hours you have food. The visual progression is undeniable. The growth is aggressive. The results are instantly edible. It's the gateway to the other 14 forests on this list. Cost per harvest, under 15 cents.
Sunflower sprouts, the mini jungle. Plant number 2 is where the visuals become genuinely cinematic. Sunflower seeds, the same ones you'd buy as a snack, create something that looks like a miniature tropical forest compressed into a tray. The timeline? 8 to 12 days from seed to full harvest. But here's the thing, they're edible and substantial much earlier. By day 6-7, they're ready. This is longer than mung beans, but the visual payoff is extraordinary. To grow them, you need sunflower seeds, raw, unhulled seeds, not the roasted, salted snack variety. Soak them for 2 hours in water. Place them densely in a shallow tray with about 1 inch of water or moist soil base. Soil is optional. They grow in water alone, but need something for the roots to grip. No light needed during germination. By day 2, the seeds crack and thick white roots appear. By day 4-5, move to light. A window is perfect, or grow lights if you have them. The roots are incredibly thick and white. The stems are substantial and green. The leaves are large. They look like actual sunflower leaves, just tiny. By day 7, you have a dense green carpet 4 to 6 inches tall. What you harvest, cut the entire mat with scissors about 1 inch above the water or soil. You get the stem, the root mast, the leaves all together. One standard tray, 12 by 20 inches, produces enough fresh sunflower sprouts for 3 to 4 salads. The taste is crisp, slightly nutty, pleasantly green without being grassy, tender but with structure, works raw in salads, on sandwiches, or as a base for meals. Sunflower seeds are approximately 20% protein. The sprout form is bioavailable protein. Your body can actually digest and use it efficiently. They contain selenium, vitamin E, folate, magnesium. They're not calorie dense, but they're nutrient dense. Here's what makes sunflower special. They look like a tiny forest. They're the most cinematically beautiful sprout on this entire list. A single tray of sunflower sprouts produces more biomass faster than almost any other sprouting plant. One tray every 10 days means you never run out.
Number 3, lentil sprouts, the 48-hour miracle. Plant number 3 is where psychology meets biology. Lentils, 2 to 3 days from dry seed to completely harvestable sprout. And here's the psychological hook. The before and after is more dramatic than almost any plant on this list. You look at a dried lentil. It's hard, it's dead looking, it's a stone. If someone handed it to you without context, you'd think it was mineral, not food. 48 hours later, it's exploded into life. Massive white roots, disproportionately large compared to the seed. Tiny green shoots. The entire thing is pulsing with growth energy. This is the most satisfying transformation in all of sprouting. Here's how you can grow them. Red lentils, green lentils, or brown lentils all work. Brown and green produce larger sprouts. Rinse and soak for 6 to 8 hours. Place in a sprouting jar with cheesecloth or mesh lid. Rinse and drain twice daily. By day 2, white roots are prominent, often as long as the seed itself. The legume is splitting open, showing the green cotyledon inside. By day 3, small green shoots are visible. The roots are thick and dramatic. You can harvest the whole sprout, root, seed, shoot. The texture is tender and slightly crunchy. The flavor is earthy and mildly sweet with a subtle pepper undertone. 1/4 cup of dried lentils produces about 1.5 cups of sprouts. Lentils are one of the most nutrient-dense legumes available. The sprout form concentrates this further. High in protein, approximately 25 to 30% of dry weight. High in fiber, rich in polyphenols, which are compounds with antioxidant properties. Folate, iron, magnesium, zinc, all present in significant quantities. Sprouting activates enzyme inhibitors removal. Sprouted lentils are more digestible than cooked lentils. Your body actually absorbs more nutrition from them. This is food as medicine, but it grows in 48 hours.
Number 4, alfalfa sprouts, the living carpet. These are historically significant. Alfalfa has been grown for over 2,000 years. The name comes from Arabic, meaning father of all foods. It earned that title because alfalfa is nutritionally complete. It contains virtually every nutrient a plant can provide. The sprout form captures that density in the smallest possible time frame, 3 to 5 days from seed to harvestable sprout. This is legitimately fast, from seed to eating in less than a week. Alfalfa seeds are tiny. Use a sprouting jar. Soak for 4 to 6 hours. Rinse and drain twice daily. By day 2, germination is complete. By day 3, you see the first tiny leaves. By day 4 or 5, you have a dense carpet of thin green shoots, all interwoven into a living mat. The roots are thin and delicate compared to mung beans, but they're dense. A single jar becomes a miniature forest. What you harvest, cut or pick the entire green portion. The roots remain in the jar and can be rinsed and eaten too, though most people harvest just the green tops. One jar produces 2 to 3 cups of fresh sprouts. Their taste is mild, slightly sweet, very green, delicate and fresh. Works in any salad, in sandwiches, as a garnish, or as a base for meals. Alfalfa sprouts contain vitamins K, C, A. They're a source of manganese, folate, and magnesium. They also contain saponins, compounds that have been studied for their effects on cholesterol levels. The chlorophyll content gives them their green color and is associated with antioxidant properties. This is perhaps the most nutrient-complete sprout relative to its size. Alfalfa represents the perfection of the sprouting concept. It's fast, it's dense, it's nutritionally complete, it's recognizable. People know alfalfa from sandwiches. You can now grow multiple crops of it per month. By this point in the video, you understand. Sprouting isn't exotic, it's fundamental. Seeds become food in days, not months, and the visual forest these create is genuinely beautiful.
Number 5, buckwheat shoots, the tiny forest. These might be the most visually striking sprout you can grow. They look like a miniature forest, like tiny trees, like something from a Miyazaki film. Organic, natural, structured, impossibly beautiful. Buckwheat is not actually wheat. It's a pseudo-cereal, cultivated for over 8,000 years in Asia and Eastern Europe. The shoots have been eaten in Korea and Japan for centuries as a delicacy and traditional medicine. It's only recently entered Western sprouting consciousness, but when people see them, they understand immediately. The timeline: 8 to 12 days from seed to full mature shoot. They're interesting at day 6-7, but their true beauty emerges at day 10-12 when they reach 4 to 6 inches tall. Here's how to grow them. Use unhulled buckwheat groats, the whole seed with the hull. Do not use hulled buckwheat, it won't sprout properly. Soak for 30 minutes to 1 hour. Place densely in a shallow tray with soil or moist medium. No light needed during germination. By day 2-3, sprouting begins. Move to light on day 3-4. The growth is rapid. By day 6, you have thick green growth. By day 10, you have a forest. The stems are thick and green. The leaves are heart-shaped and deeply textured. The appearance is genuinely forest-like. To harvest them, cut just above the soil line with scissors. You get everything: stem, leaves, all the above-ground biomass. One standard tray produces an enormous amount of biomass. The taste is mild, slightly nutty, tender, not peppery, not strong. It's a background player in salads, but it adds body and texture. Some people find buckwheat slightly bitter, but most find it pleasant and green tasting without being grassy. These are objectively gorgeous. They're architectural. You grow something that's as beautiful as it is nutritious. And that changes the psychology of growing food. It becomes something you want to look at, not just something you want to eat.
Number 6, broccoli sprouts, the tiny superfood. Most people have never heard of them. Those who have know one thing: they contain sulforaphane, a compound with significant researched benefits. But the real discovery is visual. These tiny seeds produce miniature broccoli-looking structures. That's a broccoli in 6 days? Yes. Broccoli sprouts contain 10 to 50 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli. Sulforaphane is an isothiocyanate, a compound produced by cruciferous plants as a defense mechanism against insects. Research shows sulforaphane may support the body's natural detoxification processes, potentially enhance antioxidant defenses, and has been studied for its effects on various health markers. Growing broccoli to full maturity, 60 to 100 days. Getting those benefits in sprout form, 5 to 7 days. The timeline, 5 to 7 days from seed to harvestable sprout. This is one of the fastest complete nutritional crops you can grow. How to grow them. Use broccoli seeds. Soak for 6 to 8 hours. Place in a sprouting jar. Rinse and drain twice daily. By day 2-3, germination. By day 4, you see tiny broccoli-like structures forming, the seed coat splitting and the cotyledon developing into a shape that actually resembles a broccoli crown, just miniature. By day 6, you have a complete tray of these tiny broccoli shapes ready to harvest. You get the entire sprout, root, seed coat, shoots. They have structure. They hold together like tiny broccoli heads. One jar produces about 1.5 to 2 cups of sprouts. Fresh broccoli sprouts have a slightly peppery, mustard-like quality. It's not unpleasant, but it's notable. Some people find it sharp. Most people adjust their palate quickly. They're excellent in salads, in wraps, as a topping for grain bowls, or lightly sautéed. Broccoli sprouts are already known in wellness communities. The revelation is, oh, I can grow these myself? They're this simple? They're this cheap? One cocket of broccoli seeds, $2–3, produces dozens of jars of sprouts. That's the economic shift that happens when you grow food.
Number 7, mustard sprouts, the spicy microgreens. These are visually striking. Strong coloration in the roots and stems, bright green leaves. But more important, they have distinct flavor. Sharp, peppery, intense. The timeline, 6 to 10 days from seed to full sprout. But they're interesting to eat much earlier. By day 5, they're edible and flavorful. To grow them, use mustard seeds. The brown or yellow varieties work well. Soak for 4 to 6 hours. Place in a sprouting jar. Rinse and drain twice daily. By day 3, germination. By day 5, you see mustard leaves developing, with characteristic shape. The roots are often reddish or dark colored depending on variety. The contrast is visually striking. By day 8 to 10, you have mature sprouts, with developed leaves and roots. Harvest the entire sprout. The roots are sturdy. The leaves are thin and delicate. They hold together well when harvested. The taste. This is the key selling point. Mustard sprouts are intensely flavored. Spicy, peppery, sharp, with a bite that builds on your palate. Think raw mustard greens, but more concentrated. They're excellent as a condiment-like topping.
You don't need much to add flavor. Raw on sandwiches and salads as a garnish on soups. Small amounts go a long way. This is food with character. And for people who like bold flavors, these are addictive. 1 jar of mustard sprouts provides flavor for weeks of meals.
Number 8. Wheatgrass, the ancient green juice. Wheatgrass has a reputation. Some of it is valid, some is mythology. The truth, wheatgrass is a concentration of chlorophyll and nutrients that grows impossibly fast. From 7 to 10 days, you have mature cuttable grass. Some varieties reach harvestable height in 6 days. Wheat has been cultivated for 10,000 years. Wheatgrass specifically, growing wheat to the grass stage, then harvesting and consuming it, is a relatively modern concept, becoming popular in the 1960s and 1970s in wellness communities. But the principle is ancient. Consuming grass and young leaves as a nutritional practice goes back to early human societies. To grow it, use wheat berries, the whole grain wheat, not processed wheat. Soak overnight. Spread on a tray with about 1 inch of soil or moist medium. Keep moist. By day 2, germination. By day 4-5, you have grass forming. By day 7-10, you have grass that's 6 to 8 inches tall, ready to cut. No special equipment needed. A tray, soil, water. That's it. Cut with scissors just above the soil line. 1 standard tray produces enough fresh wheatgrass for multiple servings of juice, or to add to salads, smoothies, or meals. The use: traditional, juice it. Fresh wheatgrass juice is intensely green, with an earthy, slightly sweet flavor. Modern, use the green grass in salads, smoothie bowls, or as a garnish. Wheatgrass contains chlorophyll, vitamins A, C, E, K. It's rich in minerals: iron, calcium, magnesium, potassium. The chlorophyll itself is a potent compound. It's what gives plants their color and is associated with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties in research contexts. Wheatgrass is not a miracle cure, but it is nutritionally dense and easily grown. Wheatgrass bridges the practical and the spiritual. It's scientifically nutritious, but it also feels medicinal. It looks vibrant and alive in a way that's almost unnatural. Growing wheatgrass is the moment when many people feel they're genuinely cultivating health. And you can do this in 10 days in any kitchen with no special skills.
Number 9. Black-eyed pea sprouts, the hidden sprout. Most people know them as a Southern and African diaspora staple food, cooked as part of rice dishes, stews, and traditional preparations. What almost nobody knows, they sprout beautifully and quickly. They're one of the most visually interesting sprouts once you know to look for them. The timeline: 3 to 5 days from seed to completely harvestable sprout. This is legitimately fast, faster than most people would predict. To grow them, use dried black-eyed peas from a bulk bin or grocery store. Soak for 8 to 12 hours, place in a sprouting jar, rinse and drain twice daily. By day 2, sprouting begins. By day 3, thick white roots are visible. The characteristic black eye of the pea remains visible even as a sprout. By day 4-5, small green shoots emerge from each pea. The contrast between the black eye, the white root, and the emerging green is visually striking. Harvest the entire sprout. They're more substantial than tiny seeds like alfalfa. Each sprout is distinct with visible structure. 1 jar produces 2 to 3 cups of fresh sprouts. Its flavor echoes the cooked pea, but it's fresher and crisper. Works raw in salads, in grain bowls, or lightly sautéed. Why black-eyed pea sprouts are underrated? Because nobody thinks of them. They're not trendy, they're not marketed, most sprout suppliers don't even sell them. But if you try them, you understand immediately they're as good as any legume sprout available. They're cheap, they sprout reliably, they taste good. They're the democratization of sprouting. Any seed someone can buy at a grocery store for cooking can become a sprout. That's the revelation black-eyed pea sprouts provide.
Number 10. Pea Shoots, the restaurant secret. These show up on plates at Michelin-starred restaurants as a $3 to $5 garnish. Chefs use them because they're beautiful, tender, and have this elegant curling tendril that makes food look sophisticated. What they don't tell you, you can grow a week's worth of what they charge $50 for in 15 days for 50 cents in seeds. 15 to 20 days from seed to full harvest length. But they're edible and present at day 12 to 14 if you want them slightly younger. Here is how to grow them. Use snow peas or sugar snot pea seeds, the large ones, not tiny seeds. Soak for 8 to 12 hours. Place them in a tray with about 1 inch of soil or moist medium. They need something for roots to grip. Drainage is important. Unlike mung beans in pure water, peas prefer moisture without sitting in stagnant water. By day 3, sprouting begins. By day 7, you see significant green growth.
By day 12 to 15, you have 3 to 4 inch tall shoots with curling tendrils and multiple leaves. The roots are long and white. The stems are tender but with structure. To harvest, cut about an inch above the soil/medium with scissors. You get the tendril, the leaves, the entire shoot. One standard tray produces enough for 2 to 3 meals of pea shoots as a base or component. Pea shoots taste like fresh peas, sweet, tender, with a green, almost floral quality. This is literally the flavor of spring compressed into an edible leaf. Raw and solids where they add sweetness and elegance, wilted into soups. Used as garnish for absolutely any dish and immediately improving its visual appeal. Stir-fried where they maintain some texture. The curling tendrils are genuinely beautiful. Pea shoots prove that the most valuable things in fine dining are often the simplest things to grow. A restaurant pays a supplier $50 per pound for pea shoots. You grow a pound's worth for 30 cents. That's the economic reality of sprouting.
Number 11. Adzuki bean sprouts, the Japanese microforest. Small, deep red legume, originally from East Asia. Used in Japanese cooking, Chinese cooking, Korean cooking, staple across the region. When sprouted, they create something between a forest and a living sculpture. In 3 to 5 days, you will have a completely harvestable sprout. The visual peak comes around day 4 or 5, when the color contrast is most dramatic. To grow them, use Adzuki beans, soak for 8 to 12 hours, place in a sprouting jar, rinse and drain twice daily. By day 2, sprouting. By day 3, white roots are prominent. Here's what's distinctive. Adzuki roots are often reddish-brown, not white. The contrast is stunning. Dark red bean hull, bright white root tip, emerging green shoot. By day 4 or 5, you have a jar that's visually extraordinary. Miniature forest in red, white, and green. You harvest the entire sprout. They're more structured than some sprouts because the beans are larger. One jar produces 2 to 3 cups of sprouts. The taste is earthy, slightly sweet, tender. The flavor is delicate and pleasant. Works in any context where you'd use legume sprouts. By this point in the video, you've seen white sprouts, green sprouts, and leafy sprouts. Adzuki sprouts are colored. They're the kind of thing you want to keep in a jar on your counter because they're beautiful to look at. And that changes the psychology again. Food that's nutritious and aesthetically pleasing to observe.
Number 12. Clover Sprouts, the delicate forest. After Adzuki's bold coloration and structure, Clover Sprouts are delicate and ethereal. Clover Sprouts, these are tiny, these are elegant, these are the fine dining element. Clover has been cultivated for over 2,000 years as a cover crop and nutritional food source for livestock. Its sprout form is equally valuable for humans. The timeline, 6 to 10 days from seed to mature sprout. They're interesting at day 5-6, but their true delicacy emerges at day 8-10. Here's how to grow them. Use clover seeds. Red clover or white clover varieties work. Soak for 2 to 4 hours. Place in a sprouting jar. Rinse and drain twice daily. By day 3, germination. By day 5, you see small leaves forming. By day 7 to 10, you have delicate thin sprouts with triple-lobed valves, clover characteristic, and fine white roots. The entire jar looks like a miniature meadow. You harvest the delicate green portions. The roots are fine and don't need removal. One jar produces about 1.5 cups of sprouts. It tastes mild, slightly sweet, very green, delicate flavor that doesn't dominate. Excellent as a garnish in salads, on grain bowls, or anywhere you want visual elegance without flavor impact. Together with number 11, you've created jars of tremendous aesthetic diversity. Each one is beautiful in different ways. That's important for the home grower. You're not limited to one aesthetic. You can build a collection of jars, each one a living artwork. Number 13. Sesame Sprouts, the forgotten ancient seed. Sesame is one of humanity's oldest cultivated seeds. Evidence of sesame cultivation goes back 7,500 years to the Indus Valley civilization. It's been used in Middle Eastern, African, and Asian cuisines for millennia, and yet almost nobody knows sesame sprouts exist. 8 to 12 days from seed to mature sprout. Sesame is slower than legumes, but the result is worth the wait. Use unhulled sesame seeds, the ones with the brown hull. Do not use hulled white sesame seeds, they won't sprout. Soak for 6 to 8 hours. Place in a sprouting jar. Rinse and drain once daily. Sesame is prone to fermentation if over-moistured. By day 4-5, sprouting. By day 8 to 10, you have developed green sprouts. The sesame seed hull is sticky when wet, so there's a slight technique adjustment compared to other sprouts, but it's not complicated. You harvest the sprout itself. The flavor is the remarkable part. The taste is nutty, complex, distinctly sesame flavored. It's not subtle. The taste of sesame is built into the seed,
and the sprout amplifies it. Works in Asian-inspired dishes, in salads, as a topping for grain bowls or in wraps, raw or lightly cooked. Sesame is extremely nutrient-dense, high in protein, high in healthy fats, including lignans, compounds studied for their properties, rich in minerals, calcium, iron, magnesium, zinc. Sesame is expensive in sprout form at specialty markets. Growing your own eliminates that cost entirely. And sesame sprouts are genuinely delicious, not just nutritious, but flavorful in a way that makes them worth eating for taste alone.
Number 14, Flax Sprouts, the strange gel. These are unusual, not because they're difficult to grow, but because of what they look like as they grow. Flax seeds contain mucilage, a gelatinous substance that's released when the seed contacts water. This creates an effect that looks alien, hypnotic, genuinely strange. The timeline, 8 to 12 days from seed to mature sprout. The gel effect is most visible around days 5 to 8. Flax has been cultivated for 30,000 years. Evidence suggests it was one of the first plants domesticated by humans, possibly before agriculture as we know it. Flax seeds have been used for nutrition and medicine across virtually every civilization. The sprout form captures this ancient history in a modern, visual way. Here is how to grow them. Use whole flax seeds. You can sprout flax a few ways. Method 1. Jar. Soak briefly, 2 to 3 hours. Place in jar, rinse gently once daily. The gel builds up. By day 7 to 10, you have small green sprouts emerging from a gelatinous matrix. Method 2. Tray with medium. Spread on soil, mist gently, avoid heavy watering. The gel forms, roots and shoots develop. The effect is less extreme but still present. The jar method is more visually striking. You harvest the entire contents of the jar after day 8 to 10. The gel, the root, the small green shoots, all together. It's unusual compared to other sprouts, more of a mucilaginous paste with sprouts, rather than distinct sprouts. But that's what makes it interesting. One jar produces a usable amount of flax sprouts. The taste is mild, slightly nutty, with a gelatinous texture that's unusual. Some people love it, some people find the texture odd, but the nutritional value is undeniable. Flax is one of the richest sources of ALA omega-3 fatty acids available from plants. Rich in lignans, compounds with potential antioxidant properties, high in soluble fiber. The gelatinous quality is partly because of the fiber content. By growing this plant, you're not just growing food, you're growing alien landscapes.
Number 15, popcorn shoots, the sweet corn grass. The final plant, popcorn shoots. Here's what most people don't understand. Popcorn isn't a special variety of corn. Popcorn is a stage of corn. Any corn kernel can become popcorn. But popcorn kernels are specifically selected for their ability to pop. When you plant popcorn kernels, you get corn. When you harvest at the grass stage, you get edible shoots that taste like sweet corn. The timeline, 10 to 14 days from seed to mature shoots. This is longer than some sprouts, but the visual payoff is extraordinary. How to grow them? Use popcorn kernels. Organic non-GMO is ideal if you want to avoid chemical seed treatment, but any popcorn kernels work. Soak for 8 to 12 hours. Place on soil in a tray. Keep moist. By day 3-4, sprouting. By day 7, you have green growth. By day 10 to 14, you have 6 to 8 inch tall corn grass. Actual corn blades, green and vibrant. The roots are thick and white, reaching into the soil. What you harvest, cut with scissors just above the soil line. One standard tray produces a substantial amount of corn shoots. This is the key revelation. Corn grass tastes like sweet corn. Fresh, sweet, with the characteristic corn flavor. It's tender and can be eaten raw, but it's also excellent lightly sautéed or wilted into dishes. Corn is high in carbohydrates and fiber. The grass stage concentrates chlorophyll and B vitamins. Corn at the grass stage is nutrient-dense in ways that mature corn kernels aren't. Corn is one of humanity's most important crops, and you just grew corn in 14 days in a tray. You didn't grow it for the kernel, you grew it for the leaf. And that leaf tastes like corn because it is corn. By this point, you've grown 15 completely different plants, 15 different flavors, 15 different aesthetics, 15 different timelines. And the entire project cost less than $20 in seeds. The jars and trays you already have at home. The water is free.
From 2 days to 14 days, From legumes to grains to forgotten ancient seeds, from glass jars to garden trays, from your kitchen to restaurant-quality food. Seeds are impatient organisms. They're designed to become plants as fast as possible. When a seed germinates, it activates enzymatic processes. It breaks down stored starches into simple sugars. It begins decomposing compounds that inhibit digestion. The result? Food that's more bioavailable, more digestible, more nutrient-dense than the seed itself. Sprouted legumes have 30% more protein bioavailability than cooked legumes. Sprouted grains have reduced phytic acid, a compound that can inhibit mineral absorption. You're not just growing food, you're unlocking the nutritional potential that was always there. Start with mung bean sprouts. It's the confidence builder, the first jar that proves it works. Cost under $2 for seeds you'll use for months. Add sunflower sprouts. They're visually stunning and the results are undeniable. Cost under $3. Add one that appeals to you aesthetically. Wheatgrass, Adzuki, or Flax. Pick based on what interests you visually. Start all 3 this weekend. In 48 hours, you'll have mung bean sprouts. By day 7, sunflower sprouts are mature. By day 10 to 14, your third plant is ready. In 2 weeks, you'll be harvesting food you grew from seeds. Don't harvest everything at once. Create a rotation. Pick 3 favorite plants. Mung beans every 4 to 5 days. They're fast enough to warrant frequent planting. A medium speed sprout like lentils or broccoli every 5 to 7 days. A slower sprout like sunflower or wheatgrass every 8 to 10 days. You stop buying sprouts at the store because you grow faster than you consume. These 15 plants don't need land. A single windowsill and 3 jars will grow mung beans, lentils, and broccoli sprouts simultaneously. A kitchen counter and 5 trays will grow most of these plants on rotation. A dedicated shelf with grow lights will grow all 15 simultaneously if you want. Maybe one plant doesn't work out. Maybe you forget to rinse. Maybe you get mold. Maybe the timing feels off. That's learning. The point isn't perfection. The point is trying. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button right now and ring that notification bell so you don't miss next week's video. If this video shifted how you think about food and growing, smash that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach people who are tired of paying $8 for a plastic container of sprouts. Tell me in the comments, which sprout are you growing first? Which jar are you filling this weekend? Thanks for watching.